the fearless and beloved academic director of HUM for these last 20 years. She retired last fall as the name of snow, but we can't quite let her go. So we just had the opportunity to join one of her guest classes this last year. For our HUM course, she gave a sweeping overview of ways of looking and seeing, all the way from the Enlightenment to modernity. And she wrapped up the last day of our writing course with her famous and rousing thoughts on manifestos. And it's such a lovely way to end the year. We're so glad to have Margot here tonight, and so glad she's also prepared some words for us.
Hello everyone, it's so good to see you all again. It's so good to see you all again. And I want to start by congratulating you all on the class of 2025-2026. Congratulating you on your accomplishments and on a really successful year, I see. Congrats to the HUM staff and to the teachers and the supporters. It's so wonderful to see you all flourishing together. And thank you for sharing your graduation with me. This is what I'm thinking of as my ultimate graduation. I don't know. See how this goes. Now, life has many sea changes. And my retirement, as I prefer to think of as my blossoming, opens time for reflection, such as asking myself, what does HUM mean to me? In the autumn semester, as one of many invited teachers, I sang a song for some of you. It's an old English tune from 1919 that carries my feelings about what HUM means to me. Just have a listen. There's a dear little cottage I've heard folks say that is built on a mountain of dreams. And happiness reigns there the long day, and everything's just what it seems. It's the coziest cot in the warmest of spots, or somebody told me so. But you've got to be strong, for the journey is long, and you must know the way to go. And they call it the cottage where dreams come true. It is built on a single floor, and happiness waits there to welcome you as you pass through the open door. And I wonder someday, shall I find my way? And I dare say you're wondering too, as you sit by the fire with your heart's desire, in a cottage where dreams come true. Thank you. For so many years, HUM has been that cottage for me, where dreams come true. And how about you?
Yes.
Yeah. As working class immigrants from England, from the era of that song, my own ancestors yearned for access to education that was denied them. And when given the slimmest opening, our next generations have bolted through the door and outstayed our welcome. In my work at HUM, I was truly delighted, choked as they say in England, to hold the door of this university open for others. And some of you already know of my love of hinges, which came in very handy here. Despite my cheeky but sincere roots, some say, I taught at university for 40 years, here and in London, capital of the old country. And I would just like to say, so there. Lately, I hear myself say that I needed to leave HUM so that I could come back. Meaning that I needed to pass the responsibility to someone so that I might, if I'm good, be invited back to teach. And I feel that with pure joy. It brings me pure joy that my successor is my long-time, highly esteemed colleague of 18 years, Paul Woodhouse. We all saw And that HUM's new program manager, Ruben Genting, rose up the ranks into this role over many years of commitment to the program. The HUM's writing coordinator, Heidi Renner, began as a writing course volunteer, as did student staff Logan Magano, who we just learned, we just celebrating the fact that he is the new program manager of UBC HUM, which is a wonderful choice. Boy, they made a great choice. You know that. Now, these promotions, so rare in university systems, really are the stuff that dreams are made of. As are the HUM program's long-running active supporters. There's a dear little cottage I've heard folks say that is built on a mountain of dreams. But you've got to be strong, for the journey is long, and you must know the way to go. During my 2 decades responsible for HUM, my own long journey on shifting sands, there were times when I wasn't sure of the way to go. I really wasn't sure of the way to go, but I was always stronger in the company of HUM students and HUM alumni, academic colleagues, faculty of art staff, the steering committee and faculty advisory committee, colleagues at community centers in the Downtown Eastside and the Downtown South, and at UBC in Musqueam, and folks in sister humanities programs across Canada. I don't know if you know that you're sitting in the national mothership of this particular dream country, all the humanities mothering programs. We'd be lost without our faithful donor, Gerald Ma, who's always shared and really generously supported this dream, and it's not overstating it to call Gerald our own dreamboat. You couldn't be here tonight, so we have a special sort of book card that's going around. Maybe you've seen it. Yeah, it's there. That's great. If you could just keep that moving, that would be grand. And we'll fill it up, and then we'll give it to Gerald when he's here on May 29th, and we're going to have another celebration. That time at Stanley Park. And everybody knows about it. You're all invited. So I'm so happy to see that HUM is in such good hands. And now I get to sit by the fire with my heart's desires. I started at HUM as one of the invited teachers, and I was teaching way back then, 25 years ago. I was teaching manifestos and semiotic analysis and representations at the Downtown Eastside. Does that sound familiar to you? No.
What did it mean, huh?
I love it. Some things just don't change. Now, after 5 years of volunteering teaching those classes, I became head of the program, and this became a long commitment, really a collective dream, as it turned out, with so many people involved. There's different, there are the people that I'd like to speak about now are scattered throughout the room, so if you'd like to stand up when I mention your name, you're welcome to, but you don't need to. So, sitting here are folks that I'm really delighted to recognize, celebrate, and to thank wholeheartedly for your contribution to the program during my tenure. So first I'd like to thank HUM's steadfast faculty advisory committee members. And this is Professor Tom Kemple, who I do know is over there. Yay! Professor Sylvia Vanderman, who's here. And also on our committee is Daniel Justice, who's from Critical Indigenous Studies. He couldn't be here tonight, but I thank all three of you very personally and very sincerely for giving us your wisdom and your strength and your guidance over many years. You opened a lot of doors for me that I couldn't reach, and really grounded me and really helped the program. So I thank you so much. There are amongst the core group also the light teachers sitting here. There were 200 volunteer teachers in all, and they taught the nearly 1,500 HUM graduates over the years. So we'll start with Sylvia and Tom and Daniel again. We also have here Mandy Catron, You probably our longest running person. Then there's Aya Uzio. David Gertner. David Gertner. No, her name is here, is she? I didn't see her. Alison Raja. Where's Al?
She was my instructor when in 2010.
In 2010?
Yeah.
Yeah, long time ago.
Here tonight at the last minute, but she sent us a message. She said, "My time with HUM so far has been a highlight of my teaching career. HUM is truly an incredible program. Please know that I'm thinking about you all, and I wish I could be there with you to celebrate." So these people were really the core teachers of the Humanities 101 and 201 courses for many, many years. I relied on you all. You were so generous, always accommodating, and so inspiring. Such strong, what I think of as education activists. So I really thank you from the bottom of my heart for all that you did as teachers. We're also celebrating our faithful public programs alumni tonight, who have, with gusto and determination, run extended free public programs at Carnegie Center, Nuts and Us, that's the Strathcona Library, and also the Gathering Place. So I'd like to thank Shala and the Sunijad.
Hello, monsieur.
And also Vivian Baldry.
Vivian, yeah.
Now, you've all given so much, so generously for so many years, and we really, really appreciate it. And from you, from all of you, we learn these things. We learn that every single person in the room has something important to contribute and to be listened to. That what we want matters, and that nothing, not even AI, is too big for us to comprehend when it's well taught. It turns out that university-level education is for us. From you, with you, we found that learning how we learn opens doors, that understanding Indigenous cultures and practices here in Musqueam and beyond can foster deep-seated respect and also self-respect. We realize that our own everyday act of speculating is important and sustaining, and that accepting that some things are up to us and some things are not up to us, as the Sylvia is dealing with, but this just may enhance our well-being. Creatively, our lives can be written in so many liberating ways, and we are free to write fictions with facts. There are many forms of expression with which we can make strong arguments to declare what it is we want, and throughout, and this is on me, we can remember that we can always be both creative and critical. We don't have to choose one or the other or stay quiet. We can mix those things. So, dear teachers in your classes and public programs, you empowered us with these works that you screened or led workshops or taught on with such commitment. And now we know for sure that nourishing ourselves and each other, it does create strength and possibility. We know from you that documentary films and Indigenous media rock. There's Dave Gardner over there. And that we are the ones who make our cities and we can change them. We can learn about and use our legal rights, and it turns out, this is something for Tom, it turns out that capitalism is actually constructed, something to do with crime, I think. And we are most certainly part of nature's ecosystems, replete with practices of respect. We can produce excellent work, writing poetry, arguments, art, or gorgeous books that we can share. There's no doubt in this university context, the HUM community can both find freedom and make important contributions. So many people have personally raised and held me up, and I'd just like now to thank my dearest ones who made a huge contribution to this program. First, my late parents, Barbara and Frank Butler, and my sisters, Jody Butler Walker and Aya Brazil. I'd like to thank my partner, Laurie Littman, and his mom, Cookie Rottenberg, and my everlasting friend, the artist John Down, who I would like to take a bow. John treated us, John's a fine artist, and he treated us to the source of all flourishing, usual and otherwise, which is chocolate. I so appreciate that the patience that Sheila Giffen has personified over many years. And we celebrate little Tobin Giffen Woodhouse. Wow, that other guy's in We celebrate Tobin, who is the youngest ever student, I'm also my godson. And we look forward to the future as well. Look forward to the future.
Making a speech.
Of course, we began that by thanking our Paul. I know that where he's from in Sunderland, England, they refer to their loved ones as our. So, I really, really must acknowledge and show my respect for our Paul, who does so much and does it so gratefully for so many of us. Hey, Now, it's been an incredible privilege to learn from this community myself and to share my knowledge and my practices with what I see as education activism together. To have tucked hot creative coals and critical coals under our feet that kept us warm and dancing for a year or a term or two. And in this context, Wilcom and I became Indigenous Strong. I was invited to be an associate at the UBC Institute for Critical Indigenous Studies, where I was on the ethics committee, and I was more outspoken than I should have been from the looks on people's faces on issues of research ethics in the Downtown Eastside and the Downtown South. I brought my orientation on practices to HUM and to my colleagues, and especially at conferences I was often asked, how does HUM work? How does HUM HUM? And I would tell them it turns out that respectful long-term community relationships, relevant supports, what we call no carrots, no sticks learning practices, and strong consent to confidentiality make some things possible, and they make for a vibrant cultural legacy. So those are our secrets. They're all out there in the open. Influenced by my training, scholarship, and my work as a site-specific installation artist, now most active in music and sound, I've long relied upon a quirky figure that I developed in those studies for thinking about how we are together in relationships of me and we. Not what's sometimes called the royal we, but actually a way to understand that we is always specific, always contingent, and always implicated. Specific, contingent, and implicated. Our we is just us, just now, at the celebration on this evening. Now, I love how the letters of those ordinary words, me and we, when hinged, mirror each other into a new shape. And coincidentally, isn't it groovy that you can make this figuration with your own hands? So we just actually did this in the writing class, didn't we, a little while ago? So maybe you'll try it if you just touch your pinky and your thumb, tip of your thumb together, and now tuck it under. Yeah, tuck your pinky under, and then if you just put your right hand on your left, you get the word complete.
Yes. Like this.
So I invite you all to just do that. Just run the side of your arm down.
Got it.